All right, guys. So most people have heard of Google Analytics, but not many people have heard about Facebook Analytics. And this is a big mistake, right? Because Facebook Analytics is a very, very powerful tool that's pretty drastically underutilized. And it's just, as powerful as Google can be, just kind of in a different way. So let's take a look at one of my Facebook pages here. We can see the unique users. We can see all different types of analytics, right? We can see the active users by hour to know kind of when to post things. We can see kind of the most common age and gender. We can see, the active monthly users, 116,000 people, right? We can see the best posts relative to shares. We can see all different types of things, right? That my target audience is definitely about 3/4 male, mostly between 18 and 34, it looks like. Right, we can see the comments, we can see the number of messages sent, which is absolutely insane in 28 days, 692,000 messages. But there's a lot of cool stuff that we can take a look at, right? So down in highlights here, we can see, the languages and city and country and gender and kind of all types of awesome information. And then if you come up here, instead of just choosing my page, I can actually come down and choose one of my pixels, right? And then we can see all the same type of awesome information kind of related to my pixel about, ages and all types of information directly from Facebook in a way that we really can't get pretty much anywhere else. And Google Analytics kind of mixed with Facebook analytics is going to give you more information than you can get literally anywhere else. And kind of one of my favorite little spots of Facebook analytics, obviously besides like new users, right? This is pretty cool. New users, unique users, and then the difference here would be 7,000 people who are have visited multiple times over the last 28 days, right? We see revenue, which is incorrect, but I guess it doesn't count PayPal. We see purchase conversions, median session length, week 3 average lifetime value, right? So if Facebook's estimating are the lifetime value of one of our customers, which is interesting too. We can see search traffic sources, right? From Google, 2,000 people came from Google. People are even using Bing and Yahoo, which is interesting. Social networks, right? We see YouTube, Facebook, referral traffic, direct, self-referral, search engines. This is incredible data for us to take a look at, right? Like we're obviously should be spending more time with Instagram because we're driving literally like 100 times more traffic from Facebook than Instagram. We can see session refer domains, right? We can see when people are most active. We can see the top URLs, right? So the Shopify webinar and the Amazon webinar are my two main ones, and then we can see, my Facebook and Google webinars are kind of a close second. We can see repeat purchases, right? Funnel conversion time. These are incredible pieces of data that are so hard to find, guys. And look at this. From all of our traffic from Facebook, which is 50,000 people or whatever it was in 1 month, we can literally see 18 to 24, 25 to 34 makes up 62% of our 100%. And then if we include in the 35 through 44 range, that's pretty much most of our audience. And then, another great piece of information here, if we're going to target the United States, obviously, which we are in our marketing efforts, but we should also focus on India, right? The UK is one that we're targeting a lot. Canada is one that we're targeting a lot. But this is interesting information to kind of make use of. And then, again, one of my favorite kind of little spots here is your daily insights, right? So if we click your daily insights, Facebook is going to just make these these claims for us kind of with machine learning, and they're going to utilize all of the different kind of metrics that they have to glean kind of insights that you can then use and apply to your own campaigns. So we can see men using a Macintosh spend more time on your website, right? And so we can actually target specifically just men, and we can target specifically people who are on a Macintosh, right? Because Facebook knows from like the code of how your computer interacts with the Facebook website and the browser, whether you're using a Windows machine or a Macintosh machine, right? So 133% higher than all users, we can target men using a Macintosh, right? That could be a split test that we could use. People ages 25 through 34 who speak English spend more time on your website, 61% higher than all users, right? So we're getting a very, very clear kind of idea here that the 25 through 34-year-old range is kind of our sweet spot. Week 1 retention is higher for people who viewed content 2 to 5 times, right? So 2.2 times higher if we're sending them at least 2 to 5 pieces of content, whether that's an email, a Facebook post, YouTube, Instagram, right? All the different mediums that we're communicating on. People using the Chrome desktop 66 spend more time on your website, 120% higher, right? Conversions from page views to purchases is higher for people using Safari using a phone, right? So we can literally target people by their web browser, and then we can target only mobile traffic. And then we can see here that that people who are on their phone using Safari are 2.7 times more likely compared to all users actually to convert, right? So this is a beautiful piece of information because people, who are using an iPhone, for example, that defaults to having Safari are probably a little bit more affluent than people using, feature phones or cheaper phones. And so they're literally almost 3 times more likely to make purchases using Safari, using a phone. I would never in a million years have figured that out unless I was actually looking at the insights that I'm getting from Facebook Analytics, right? And so these are all just golden pieces of knowledge, and Facebook gives you a ton, right? And so all you have to do is just choose your pixel up here and come down to insights, and then you can literally use these, just note down all of them, and then use them to create split tests, right? If you have a successful campaign, duplicate it, and then only target people who are using Safari on their phone, right? And then duplicate it again and only target people who are using a Macintosh and who are men, and then duplicate it again and, target people, who are any of these things, and you're going to start to see a bunch of very, very good results from this because Facebook is using very complicated kind of machine learning algorithms to glean these insights for you guys. And so that is Facebook Analytics. Facebook Analytics is very, very powerful, right? You can get a lot of data and make a lot of decisions on what you should focus on, where you're getting your most traffic from to kind of double down on that, right? Like most of my traffic comes from YouTube and Facebook, an overwhelming percentage. And I learned that very early, which is why I focus, 90% of my effort kind of really building Facebook and YouTube, in the form of Facebook groups, in the form of my YouTube channel, really, really, as deeply and passionately as I can, because those are the platforms where my users and my purchasers and people who are interested in what I have to say are coming from, and those are the platforms that I focus on, right? And these types of information, getting these types of information is just invaluable to your business, and then understanding how to utilize it, using insights and things like that is really going to give you a huge kind of step ahead of people who don't understand how to use this data. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and let's get to the next.